My name is Mike Fitz with Explore.org, and I'm here with Katmai National Park Rangers Felicia Jimenez and Naomi Boak. And Rangers, we know that many people who visit Brooks River in person watch the bear cams before and after the visit. Like most national parks post 2020, visitation has skyrocketed at Brooks River. So let's talk about the experience at Brooks River for you and the people traveling there. Felicia, what were the crowds like last year? And if anyone's watching right now who's traveling to Brooks River this summer, what can they expect?
Yeah, so crowds coincide with the peak concentrations of bears and salmon. So historically, that has always been July and September. There is a wait list at the falls in July. So that's when I'm going to expect the largest amount of crowds, biggest crowds in July and September. But there's a wait list in July at the falls, which we just talked about, persisted even through the first week of August because bears were sticking around. So that platform that you're seeing can only hold about 40 people. That's our maximum capacity, and they get about 30 minutes of time between turns. So there's usually a bit of a wait. Last year, our peak time was about 2.5 hours of a wait. So expect that if you're going to come to the falls in July. Pack your patience and just be ready for that.
And tell us about the mandatory bear orientation and safety talk. What do people hear in that in brief, and how does it prepare people for the experience of walking on the ground where encounters with bears are frequent?
Yeah, Katmai is a very unique park. It's actually such a privilege for us to be able to walk on the ground and view wild brown bears this close up. But with that privilege, there's going to come a lot of responsibility from us as a visitor. So the second that you land from your float plane, you will be taken into the visitor center and you will receive a mandatory bear orientation, which is a safety talk about the very strict rules that we have regarding your behavior, regarding food storage, regarding gear storage, and just the distance that you can be around these wild brown bears. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to get through, but after that, that's your bear school. You get a collectible pin. It's your after your bear orientation, you are free to explore the park, which typically means heading straight to the falls because it's going to take 15 minutes to get through your bear orientation, and then you want to get to the falls to get your name on that wait list fast.
Right. Yeah. So you're at Brooks Camp. You got your orientation. Now you want to go see some bears, and so many people are going straight to the falls. Naomi, what's that journey like if people are making that trek to the falls?
Well, everyone wants to go to the falls, people and bears. So, yeah, see, even the bears want to check out the map. So, it's about 1.2 miles from the center of Brooks Camp to the falls platform. It's flat terrain, so not climbing any mountains. But it is 1.2 miles, so you have to each way. So you have to consider that length of walk. There are pit toilets right before you go onto the Falls Trail, which is a really good idea to make that pit stop. And it's a good idea to have water with you. Again, you can't have anything but water, no food, no coffee, no juice, soda, just plain water. And you'll probably want it. And also to remember that bears are on a mission to the falls, and we are sharing that trail with them. So it's likely that you might run into a sauna cub taking a nap after a hearty salmon dinner. And so you have to wait. So your trip to the falls might take a little longer than you had expected. We like to say, let sleeping bears lie. And the other thing to think about on the other side of those bears might be more people. So we don't want to push bears into other people. And here you see the falls platform overlooking the falls, and it's a spectacular experience. And as Felicia said, pack your patience because there is likely to be a long wait. The other thing, please don't forget the Riffles platform. As you approach what we call the tree house, which is the little informational center by the falls, there, if you turn right, there is the Riffles platform, which gives you another spectacular view of the falls. And here you see the view from the Riffles platform. So there's still plenty to see from there. So when you go to the falls, remember that if you're not getting onto the falls right away, you can view from the Riffles platform, and we try to have interpretive rangers there so we can answer your questions. We can interpret what you're seeing in front of you. So it's a glorious trip, and but just remember that it is a walk, and you're doing it on your own. We don't have guided tours here, but ask a ranger. Always ask a ranger, and they'll be as helpful as they can.
If you want to see more of the Falls Trail, we do have a video with rangers about that experience on Explore.org's main YouTube channel, which is at Explore Live Nature Cams. And you can search for the video Bear Safety on the Brooks Falls Trail. Naomi, in addition to the possibility of bear encounters, what's accessibility like at Brooks Camp?
Well, it's not the most accessible place in the world, but I think that there are misconceptions about how inaccessible and how accessible it can be. You should be able to walk the 1.2 miles, but we do have wheelchairs here. So if you're here with someone else who can help you with that wheelchair, we do have some wheelchairs available. I hear people often say, well, I can never make it to the falls. I'm too old, I'm too infirm. I would take a real assessment of that for yourself, from your doctor. Write a letter to the park and decide. Maybe it is too inaccessible for you, but it's possible that you're just underestimating yourself. I mean, I'm older. I've had both hips replaced. I never thought I could be around here, but I'm working here. I'm walking the trip to the falls, so I underestimated myself, but don't overestimate. So walking sticks can help sometimes. So my advice is just think it through. It's not a really accessible place, but it could be possible for you.
And Felicia, we started by talking about crowding at Brooks River, and this place is unique for a bear watching area because people have a great deal of freedom to move about without guides. And that comes with a lot of responsibility, though, especially if someone wants to go into Brooks River. So what must people do if they're considering that activity?
So for 2023, it is now required to get a river permit if you are going to access the river anytime from June 15th to October 31st. And that is any activity in the river. So that's not limited just to fishing. I like to walk the river and photograph. That will require a river permit too. And it's going to include 50 yards on either side of the river, as this map indicates. And then there is a closure of 100 yards in either direction, including 50 yards from the shore around the falls. So we're going to just completely avoid that. It is a free permit, which is a great thing. There is a $6 rec.gov fee, and it's good for 7 days. It was piloted last year, and we had an overwhelmingly positive reception, both in person and in online surveys. And this just allows the park a way for us to track visitor use of the river for any future endeavors, any kind of policy change or anything like that. This just is one small step in a different direction. So it lets us track that use.
Rangers, thanks for that information. Brooks River is a unique place, and it requires people arrive prepared for the special circumstances that allow bears and people to occupy the same spaces. And you can, of course, find more information about visiting Brooks River in Katmai National Park on the park website, which is nps.gov/KATM.